condolences. As governor, I want to thank you for being a part of this process, and it's my hope that this legislation will prevent more parents from receiving the devastating call that you did that day. I also want to recognize Senator Christine Marsh, who lost her son to a fentanyl overdose and who has worked tirelessly every single day to help Arizonans struggling with substance abuse. Senator Marsh, it's an honor to be in this work with you. I know Josephine, Mitch, and Senator Marsh are far from the only parents who have suffered the loss of a loved one due to fentanyl or another drug overdose. My message to all parents, friends, and family members who have gone through this is that we hear you, and today is just the first step of combating this crisis together. Thank you to our law enforcement officers across the state, including Colonel Glover and Sheriff Rhodes, who are here with us today, for making it your mission every single day to protect Arizonans. I look forward to working with all of you to continue keeping Arizona's communities safe. And with that, I'll pass it along to Director Glover.
Thank you, Governor. Of course, we know it's imperative that we bring an end to the fentanyl epidemic. It's putting Arizonans in danger, costing countless lives, devastating families who have seen their loved ones become addicted to and die from this deadly drug. We need to take action to hold drug traffickers accountable for the lives that they have taken from us and to ensure that we're doing everything we can to keep Arizona safe. That's why we are grateful to Governor Hobbs for signing these bills to crack down on drug traffickers and continue our working partnership with Department of Homeland Security. The proposed legislation will provide the Arizona Department of Public Safety and our local law enforcement partners with a much-needed tool to stem the flow of fentanyl in our Arizona communities. In Arizona and across the country, fentanyl has become a major public health and safety concern that is, with legislation and the help to curb that and the spread of this dangerous drug and to help save many of our lives. Over the past 6 months, DPS has seized more than 1,500 pounds of fentanyl. And this is all across the state. This is the equivalent of over 7 million pills. Drug Enforcement Administrative testing has shown roughly 7 out of every 10 fentanyl-laced fake prescription pill contains a potential deadly dose of fentanyl. This is why it is so critical to talk to your children and your loved ones about the dangers associated with taking an unknown pill, and why it's so critical that we are taking action today with House Bill 2245. This is a significant step towards reducing the impact of the fentanyl crisis on Arizona communities, and why we are grateful for Governor Hobbs and her leadership and her call to action to address this epidemic. I'll now turn it over to Sheriff David Rhodes.
Good afternoon. David Rhodes, Yavapai County Sheriff and President of the Arizona Sheriff's Association. I'd like to start today by first thanking the Arizona Sheriffs who are here today, who have worked tirelessly to pass this legislation over the last 4 years, I believe, that are on the front lines of this battle every single day on our southwest border and across this entire state. I would like to thank a big thank you to Commander James Edelstein of the Presque Valley Police Department, who's standing behind me today, who also worked tirelessly to pass this key piece of legislation to hold fentanyl dealers accountable. Representative Quang Nguyen, Legislative District 1, who is on the floor of the House today and couldn't be here. He is really an unsung hero, but somebody who fought for the last 3 years to pass this key piece of legislation, sponsored it every single year, and we're very grateful for him, as well as the legislative leaders that brought this through the Arizona legislature and to the governor's office, and of course to Governor Hobbs for signing this key piece of legislation. But really, the family, the namesake of this bill, the Ashley Dunn Act, Josephine and Mitch Dunn, who are dear friends from Yavapai County, who have also fought to make sure that Ashley, their daughter, and all Arizonans, everybody in America, but particularly here in Arizona, will not have died in vain, and that there will be accountability for those people who want to actually traffic in fentanyl, sell it to our kids, sell it to our vulnerable population, profiteer off of it, and kill people in this state. There is a new tool now, and we will use it to find you and to prosecute you and put you in prison. And we say consistently that people, criminals, have to believe that the laws will be enforced, and they have to be afraid of the consequences. We believe that this key piece of legislation does exactly that. So we're very grateful to everybody who has worked to bring this to bear, to bring this, to make this the law of the land here in Arizona. And I want to thank all of those players, and particularly Mitch and Josephine Dunn. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Bill Mundell, and I'm the Chief Deputy Attorney General for Attorney General Chris Mays. She couldn't be here today because she had a long-standing prior commitment, but she asked me to appear, I should say told me to appear for her today. She feels so strongly about this piece of legislation that she wanted us to participate in the bill signing ceremony here today. Every day, lawyers, investigators, and agents at the Attorney General's office are fighting on the front line to deal with the fentanyl crisis. Every day, with our local and federal law enforcement partners, our team is investigating, prosecuting, and disrupting the flow of fentanyl into our communities. But in recent years, Arizona has become the fentanyl funnel for the rest of the nation. Over half of the fentanyl seized in the United States in the last 2 years was seized in Arizona. This bill that Governor Hobbs is about to sign will give us another tool in our toolbox to go after those selling large quantities of the deadly drug. 200 grams, or the equivalent of 2,000 pills, in a sale will trigger the enhanced sentencing provisions in the legislation. This will give our prosecutors throughout the state, not just at the Attorney General's office, but throughout the state, the ability to deter mid and large-scale drug dealers from operating within our state. It is a measured approach that seeks to deter the behavior and was crafted to the best of our ability to ensure that we're not criminalizing users who need treatment, not jail. But Arizona's fentanyl crisis requires all of the above, all hands on deck approach. On behalf of the Attorney General, Chris Mays, I want to thank the legislature for its bipartisan support of this bill. And we especially want to thank Representative Nguyen for his leadership in getting this bill across the finish line. We are also appreciative of all the stakeholders' input we received, especially from our county sheriffs, Sheriff Rhodes, that went into making this a successful piece of legislation. Together we can deter criminal behavior and get people suffering from the horrible disease of addiction the help they need. So I want to thank the legislature again and thank Governor Hobbs for supporting this important piece of legislation. Thank you very much.
Senator Martin, Dr.